Welcome, Mrs. Campbell, teachers and students, to our final Year 12 assembly. May I ask that all mobile phones be turned off and switched to silent, and that you all please stand for the welcome of the Year 12 cohort, the graduating class of 2025.
Also show respect to the knowledge embedded forever within the Aboriginal custodians of country.
Please be seated. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for sharing in our Year 12 final assembly. Today, the whole school community comes together to acknowledge the many achievements of our Year 12 students, the class of 2025. We also want to thank everyone who has shared in their journey, teachers, support staff, and fellow students. They are a year group that has left their mark positively on the culture of this school and will be hugely missed. Cooper and I would like to begin by saying a few words for the Year 12s. On behalf of the Year 11 students, the incoming 2026 student leadership team, and the whole student body.
Dear the graduating class of 2025.
Here you are in your final hours as a St. George's student, and it seems just yesterday that we were getting to know you all as our Year 7 Orientation Day guides, where we idolise you from day one. And now, our journey together will come to an end. Whether you still have exams to complete or not, today marks a huge milestone in your education, the end of your time in high school.
Look to the people around you, your friends, your peers, and reflect on how you have grown, laughed, learned, and probably even cried together. Now is the time where you can think back to all the memories you have made throughout your high school journey. Some memories will stay with you forever, and some might be, let's say, valuable learning experiences. But either way, we hope that you will forever cherish your years spent at St. George's.
Your cohort's fun spirit and lively nature has truly left an unforgettable legacy. The support you've provided and the connections you have fostered with younger and older students alike have been incredibly impactful, and for that, you should be proud.
You have all been incredible leaders and role models, and you have truly left this place better than you found it. You have raised the bar for leadership at St. George's, not just for our year, but for many years to come. You lead by example, showing true service in all that you do, no matter how big or how small. Thank you for all that you have done. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed.
From the whole student body, and especially on behalf of the class of 2026, we wish you all the very best. We encourage you to take every opportunity you are presented with to build the future that you envision for yourself. Give everything your all and live in the moment. I know I speak for everyone when I say you will be missed very dearly. Good luck in wherever life may take you next, and don't be strangers. Thank you all.
Your legacy will not be forgotten. Of course, it would not be a graduation assembly without a principal's address. I would now like to invite our school principal, Mrs. Tina Campbell, to begin the farewells to the graduating class of 2025.
It is my great pleasure and privilege as Principal of St George's Anglican Grammar School to speak to the class of 2025 as part of your final assembly today. Your penultimate service in this beautiful cathedral, your school chapel, before we gather once more this evening for your formal valedictory service. Class of 2025, as you say goodbye to the familiar, senior status, blazers for chapel, your beloved leavers jackets, multiple assignments, and the comfortable chaos and roller coaster of Year 12 life, I hope you also pause to recognise and acknowledge what a gift it is to find something so great that it makes saying goodbye so really hard. The moments shared here, the inside jokes, the gentle support, the challenges overcome, these are the very things that have made this place more than a school for so many of you. It's been a way of life that has been predictable, a part of your normal routines, and now that is all about to change. Each year, as we farewell another graduating class, we as staff reflect on what we are losing as you walk out our doors. It's true that you've sometimes tested our patience, pushed the boundaries, and kept us on our toes, but that's never the full story. Because in amongst all of that, there has indeed been deep joy in getting to know you and enjoying your splendid company, as the poem I spoke about earlier this week alluded to. We as staff have enjoyed enlightening conversations, moments of growth, kindness, laughter. You have been an incredible group of students. Over these past years, we've chased you for homework, reminded you endlessly about uniform, encouraged your focus, nurtured your growth, and championed your potential. In return, we hope that part of this place, its lessons, its values, and its special sense of family will remain with you. A voice of reason in tough times. A source of comfort when the world feels too loud and overwhelming. A compass, if you like, guiding you forward and forever making sure that you make the right life choices. This year especially, you have been asked to show courage, flexibility, and initiative as our school expanded to its second campus, a significant milestone in the life of St George's. It could have been disruptive. It could have divided the school. But under the calm, capable, and committed leadership of Ben and Alison, your school captains, you have showed us all what it means to find your brave. And you've taken all of the many celebrations for our 10th birthday and Anglia School's 40th anniversary in your stride. Sincerely, thank you. Finding your brave, our school theme for 2025, has never been about grandstanding or perfection. It has been about stepping forward into the unknown when you're not sure what's ahead. It's about having the courage to speak up when you believe that there may have been injustice. It's about walking across to the new campus and totally making it your own. It's about embracing change, leaning into fear, and choosing kindness even when it's not easy to do so. You have done all of this and more as a graduating class of 2025. Thank you. Our 2025 school theme has woven its way through everything you've done this year. You've supported one another through exams, auditions, performances, sporting triumphs and setbacks. You've advocated for student voice. You've lifted each other up, and through it all, you've demonstrated that bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the face of it. As I thought about what to say to you today, what pieces of advice to offer as your time as students at St George's come to an end, I want to leave you with an image, a car journey for your future life, if you will. Many of you are now driving, or at least learning to, some good, some not so good, I've heard. You'll know that the windscreen of a car is far larger than the rear view mirror. There's a reason for that. The windscreen represents your future. It is wide, open, full of promise and light. Through it, you can see all that lies ahead. You can dream, you can plan, you can move forward. Your adventures are as yet unknown, but they are unlimited. This is your future, stretching out before you, full of promise. But the rear view mirror is important too. It's smaller, but just as powerful. It reminds you of where you've come from, your family, your friends, your history. It holds the stories of your past, the challenges you've overcome, the teachers who have guided you, the friendships that have shaped you. These things keep you grounded. Don't ignore the lessons learnt. Glance back from time to time. Honour your story here, but don't let it define your future journey either. And then there are the side mirrors, often overlooked, but essential. These represent the people who travel beside you. They help keep you safe. They offer you perspective. They are who you turn to for advice when you need it. They remind you that life isn't just about what's ahead or behind. Stay aware. Stay connected. These people are your support network, the ones who remind you to stay in your lane, but also nudge you forward when you hesitate. Cherish and celebrate them. They make your life that much more special, and many of them are sat next to you right now. As you prepare to leave St George's, enjoy the journey ahead. Take the wheel. Decide where you're going. Choose very carefully who you invite into the passenger seat. These people will influence the direction of your life. Refuel when needed. Stop often to admire the scenery on the road. Embrace detours and take the road less travelled if it feels right for you. And when the road gets bumpy, as it will, don't forget the lessons you have learned here. Remember your teachers' voices, sometimes firm, always caring. Remember the laughter shared, the deep conversations, the assemblies, the chapel services, the social events, the courage you found when things got hard, and the many different coffee shops, parks, and cafes that you have had the privilege to share lunch with your friends at. The legacy you leave behind is one of strength, compassion, humour, and heart. Your year group has been inclusive, thoughtful, and full of energy. You've welcomed newcomers, respected difference, and led with grace. Your red blazers, always bold, always proud, represent a community that has shaped you. Wear that legacy with pride in your life beyond school. As you sit here today, ready to write your next chapter, I hope you do so with courage, humility, and purpose. I ask that you remember fondly all that was good about being here. And with time, be at peace with those things that have disappointed or saddened you. I urge you to continue your good work, to have high aspirations and dreams for your future, and to live your life considering the mantra of not for self alone. In closing, I leave you with an old Irish blessing. It was said to me when I graduated high school by my school principal many moons ago now, and I pass it on to you, a wish for the next steps in your journey. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Good luck, Year 12s.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. I would now like to invite Alison and Ava to perform a song for the Year 12s in celebration for their love and passion for performing arts and music as a year group.
When you take that jump, don't fear.
As your 2026 school captains, we would now like to invite Alison White and Ben Humphreys, our 2025 school captains, to deliver their final addresses to the school on behalf of the class of 2025.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Campbell, staff, students, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025.
The time has come for us to say our final goodbyes. Starting Year 7, this all seemed too far away. How are we going to survive another 6 years at school? Then this time last year, we were saying goodbye to the class of 2024, thinking that's going to be us soon, but we've still got a whole year. That's so much time. Yet here we are, on our final day of our high school journey, standing before you, speaking on the behalf of the class of 2025, we can truly say that time does fly by.
Writing this speech and looking back on the past year, we have realised it has been filled with some incredible moments, some of which were first, but almost all started with, wow, this is going to be our last. Last swimming carnival, last glee, cross country, last week, last day, and the list goes on. However, although our final episode only seemed to become closer to airing, we never failed to make the most of the series and enjoy the journey.
We are so grateful to every one of you, our closest friends and classmates, who no matter the day, were there for a laugh, a good time, or the occasional lock-in, because the academic comeback is never out of reach. It is wild to think that the people we have shared sweat and tears with are the same people that can very soon say we have graduated high school, free to explore the real world, unprotected by the walls of this cathedral or the tight stairwell of our city campus. In a few hours' time, we will officially be high school graduates.
But before we get into our journey on how we all got here, we wanted to thank everyone who has made it possible. Mrs. Campbell, thank you for your ongoing support and guidance throughout our years at St. George's. You have always been a figure we have looked up to, and for that we greatly appreciate it. Next, the teachers, who continuously supported and encouraged us, every single one of us, to keep going no matter how hard the journey got, from hearing our little Year 7 squabbles to the overwhelming mounds of exams and assessments.
While we could not leave this school without thanking those who, although often work quietly, have been instrumental to our lives as St. George's students. First, the legends at reception across both our campuses, who are always there with a smile on their face, greeting us every morning as we walk into school. Thank you for your continuous support and dedication. Secondly, all the support staff who work behind the scenes to make sure everything runs smoothly. We are so grateful for your endless help, especially Dave, for the constant care he takes in maintaining our school.
But most importantly, we need to thank you, our peers, who through hours of learning, some odd detentions, and a lot of fun and interesting experiences have made the last 6 years so memorable. So, class of 2025, let us take you on a little journey down memory lane.
Year 7 started with us having less than a term of school before we went into lockdown, barely enough time to choose a few friends and meet teachers before online learning took over and we were isolated for weeks. COVID also caused us to miss our Year 7 camp, an event many of us are still salty about to this day. But it also brought many fun times, as we remember Starbucks Fridays with cookies and music, night at the museum where the costumes were surprisingly impressive, and our questionably named fish, Nellie, Abraham and Boobawella. Throughout the year, we also learnt a valuable lesson at swimming. If you don't leave the change rooms fast enough, you will be left behind. Year 8, we had survived our COVID lockdown and finally went on camp, which was nothing short of eventful. The mystery of the missing Milo, the barely drinkable water, and Sophia's allergic reaction to her sleeping bag. But most importantly, on the camp, we got to know all of you. We got mixed up in dorms and activity groups, so we were forced to make new friends, which we have kept for every year since.
Year 9 started, well, differently, as our year group became quite interested in social activism, before we were hit again by the ever-looming COVID, our first case.
Whoops, sorry guys.
I still remember the whispers on that day across the classroom of everyone trying to figure out who it was, but even more importantly, did we get to go home? As you can guess, it was much to my class's disappointment when we found out it was not us that were getting the week off.
Although the year didn't start off with us very focused on our academics, instead we favoured collecting boot cards and practising our box fights. Whilst COVID continued and we still had times off at home studying remotely, we did eventually start to lock in.
Year 9 was also a year where we got to know each other more. In science, we discovered Ava's dedication to reaching her goals, as she is quoted saying, "Yeah, I would lick a foot for $1,000. Nah, I would do it for 10. I'm trying to save money for a car here." Now, all our years at St. George's have always left a mark. However, for some, this was a bit more visible. Although I still think it was Sophia's fault, I will take the blame today for hitting her in the head with a water polo ball during swimming and leaving a dark red goggle indent in her forehead that allegedly still leaves a scar until today.
Year 10 came around. We all thought we weren't little high schoolers anymore and were actually big kids. We were not. This year, however, marked a large development in the workplace skills of our year group. No, Mr. Gore, we are not talking about a week of work experience, but instead the experience and much needed practice one of our classmates got at cutting hair.
I will say, having just had a fresh fade last Sunday, their services and hospitality of their laundry has much improved since a few years ago. Speaking of haircuts, however, this year I also successfully roped in many of the boys to buzz their heads for the world's greatest shave, many of which regretted it and are traumatised to this day. But most importantly, we set the standard for the world's greatest shave at St. George's, a standard which we ended up smashing in Year 12.
That year, we finally decided 3 years of fun was enough and we were going to become academic weapons. Although we tried our best to stay locked in, we had a few side experiments along the way, including Aramis's discoveries in the science lab, from which I think we can all confidently say we've learnt from his experiences. Furthermore, we couldn't be more grateful for Mr. Gore for the significance of her social and scientific experiments exploring the unhygienic conditions of the bathrooms. However, with the heavy basement monitoring that came soon after our activities, we moved on to spending our lunches sharing gossip with Mr. Heath.
Before finally, more camp shenanigans. At Forest Edge, we battled many fierce events, including the fake shooting of cane toads, abseiling from 21 metres up, and mud fights in, well, a pit of mud. Yet, none beat the battles of the wet and even muddier flying fox during a thunderstorm. Many said there was even lightning, yet most just said it looked like we had been in a messy accident as we walked back to camp covered in dark, brown and wet mud.
Well, we couldn't close out Year 10 without thanking Mr. Sloan for the hours of work he put in for us. We didn't always make it easy, but ultimately we had a great time and will forever be grateful for everything he's done and what he has taught us.
Then, suddenly, we had chosen our subjects and were in Year 11, ready to have our long-awaited, real academic comeback. You'll start to notice this has become a bit of a recurring thing for us. Looking back on Year 11, we couldn't find any crazy stories to tell or great big laughs, and thought that was a bad thing. However, this was not the case. These past year, we have slowly prepared ourselves for life outside of school. We've realised the importance of the time we have with each other. Although Year 11 still did have its moments, such as on our river cruise where we found out that Mark was a much better dancer than any of us could ever be, while in Human Bio we learned about the similarities between glasses, Coke bottles and Buzz Lightyear, as well as the possibilities of dinosaur babies.
We saw the performances of many of our friends in Frozen and experienced our final day camp, where we learned that some of us aren't that good at balancing in floating canoes. But ultimately, we realised that our best moments came in the quiet times, the times where we just chatted, had a laugh, or explored what overpriced food the city had to offer for lunch. Mac found out she had an addiction to Subway cookies, Nash discovered rice crackers and Nesquik, while the rest of the year realised very quickly our bank accounts were not going to survive this lifestyle.
Another thank you to someone who over the last 2 years has helped make it so special. He has worked hours every week for our year group, not including the extra work he has put in to make incredible events such as the ball, our leavers jackets, year group events and our final day yesterday work out so well. That is Mr. Hayward. Someone who has taught us so much and has always been there for us, no matter the day, time or reason.
And then we were in Year 12. We had reached our final year, and despite the countdown in the back of our heads, we all set the same goal, to make it count. It started with a day we had all been anticipating since we first started high school, our ball. In our opinion, we all looked incredible, dressed for a night to remember and ready to light up the dance floor, although not as much as Fred's LED tie or Campbell's acrobatics. It was one of the best nights we've had and one that was special for all of us, setting a very high standard for the rest of the year. To continue making every day count, Zuri made sure to leave a great impact on the incoming Year 7s as they failed to let her have a lunch in peace. Ava B provided bread to everyone in study, while Ava W and Ben snacked on dry Nutrigrain from their locker after morning swimming training. This year also saw Georgia bring the passion and fire to Gandhi's glee rehearsals, while not so surprising relationship rumours sparked as Ben proposed to Rory in the inter-house sink swim battle.
No, I've moved on, guys, I've moved on. Further down the year, we found ourselves walking across the sea to our new campus, where we were able to enjoy our very spacious common room away from the busyness of the rest of the school. Though one department who, despite the move, haven't seemed to quite shake us off yet is the PE. I would say every day at least 10 of us come by for our routine catch-up or claim to that week's footy bragging rights. But furthermore, this year has brought many days of fun, most of which have been caught by Beau's camera, but even more of which were Leia's been confused. We also saw Eric in crutches, despite promising he could land a backflip. While Year 12 might have only been 3 terms long, we definitely made the most of it.
And that brings us to today. These last 6 years have brought so many incredible memories, many more that we can name, as we have already read our longest speech yet.
But one thing's for sure, the memories and friendships we've formed over our time together will never be forgotten.
We might not quite feel ready for what's next, but never forget the things you can achieve and the places you can go.
In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, do not follow where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail.
Class of 2025. How lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard?
It has been an amazing experience to share our high school journey alongside all of you and to speak on your behalf today.
Graduate today and go conquer the world tomorrow. Go shape your path and write your own story. Don't let anything get in your way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alison and Ben, for taking us on a journey through what it has meant to be a part of the graduating class of 2025. The legacy you and your peers leave behind will not be forgotten. It will continue to inspire those who follow in your footsteps.
Each year, the Year 12 select a member of staff to be a part of the Year 12 Farewell Assembly. This staff member speaks not only of their memories of the year group, but farewells them on behalf of the whole staff. This is indeed a great honour and privilege. It is with great excitement that I welcome Miss Hewitt to farewell the class of 2025.
I did not lie to any of you. You either asked too soon, or if you asked today, my words were very carefully chosen. Good afternoon, students and staff of our St George's community, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. As a year group, you hold a very special place in my heart. You're made up of an incredible range of individuals, each with your own talents, interests and gifts, but what you all share are a certain wonderful characteristic. You're a group filled with kindness. You've made your mark on our school through the way you've treated your peers, other students and staff. Over the years, we've often talked about how the 4 terms of school are like the 4 years between the Olympics, with the Commonwealth Games in term 2 and the Olympics being your final exams. So I'm not entirely sure what that makes this moment, perhaps the pre-retirement press conference. Way back in 2020, many of you began your journey at St George's as slightly smaller Year 7s. Others joined our St George's family along the way and quickly wove yourself into the tapestry of this year group. Back in those days, you settled into life at St George's, and some of you learnt an important lesson about making sure you actually hung up your Teams calls before sharing your thoughts on the lesson that had occurred. By Year 8, I was lucky enough to teach some of you, while the others learnt quite a bit about sea creatures. And during this time, it started to feel like the stress of maths provided a small distraction from your friendship dramas. So let's pause for a moment and trace the theme of friendship and maths through the years. Thankfully, maths provides some clear strategies for making friends. In Year 8, we learnt that the best way to impress someone was with a congruency proof, which is why it's always wise to carry a pen and paper just in case. Of course, as you get older, friendships become more complex. So if you really wanted to impress someone in 10A, we moved on to polynomial long division. Now, 10As of this year, I haven't had you. So perhaps you haven't yet experienced this life-changing strategy. My advice is to find a restaurant which has paper tablecloths for children to draw on and to really show off your skills. And if you trace this logic forward, it makes perfect sense that this year's Year 12 specialist class has contained the students who have been the social key at every event from the ball to graduation. I was never lucky enough to go on any of your camps, but I always loved hearing your stories when you got back. Whether it was Forest Edge in Year 10, Dwelling Up in Year 9, or Bow Shack in Year 8, you always returned with memories, some from organised activities, and many of your own making. In the 2021 yearbook, the head of house at the time describes Boshak as a camp focused on resilience and bouncing back. And as someone who's been to that campsite more than once, I can confirm it certainly teaches both. You were actually the last year group to go to that campsite, probably due to all your complaining. And when you came back, you were full of stories about things being a bit more rustic than expected. But you also came back tighter than ever. A year group of best friends, thick as thieves. And that bond stayed with you. You've always been such a supportive, connected group, and that's one of the many things that makes you so special. By year 9, you were a force to be reckoned with. You had close bonds and always managed to keep yourselves very busy, though very little of it was connected to any of the actual school subjects. Still, I always admired how much you cared about your results. You might not have cared quite enough for a consistent effort or term, but about a week before any assessment, you would really lock in. For the rest of the term, however, it often felt like you had to be tricked into doing the required work. This led to me attempting to teach maths through sports examples, regularly getting confused by the positional rules, while you all very patiently corrected me. This really still occurs now. We also went to chapel together that year, and if you remember, some of you felt compelled to share the messages you had heard to those we met along the walk back. We had our story of the week tradition as we transitioned from chapel to maths, and I could always count on you for a hilarious story. Then came year 10, and with it the stress of 10A, and hence the infamous 10A group chat was born. You may have noticed a reoccurring theme here. Mathematics really does seem to support friendships. This was also the year of the basement cult. Nothing made this close-knit group happier than finally having a level of the building to themselves and a perfect place to think up their latest schemes. As we reflect on the last 6 years together, I hope this speech isn't too emotional for you. I'd offer you a tissue, but I believe Leia has them all at her house. Over the years, I've felt so privileged to watch so many of your incredible performances at Sounds of Sunset, Anglican Schools concerts, Freedom Festivals, and countless other events. I loved watching your dance and drama performances and seeing so many of you shine in School of Rock, Puffs, Frozen, and of course this year's Witches in Salem. Your house spirit as a year group has always been exceptional. You have thrown yourself into everything, especially sing, swim and glee choreography, and I've been so impressed by how many of you have stepped up to lead and teach. You're a year group that gets involved in everything, and you've had a lot of fun doing it. I've always looked forward to my classes with you, and I feel so lucky to have known and taught you, Ariana and Alison, for 5 straight years. 4 of those years were in the same classroom, in the same heavily guarded preferred seats, but we can still have a few firsts this year, like when a tennis ball hit Ariana in the head during specialist. You win some, you lose most. As a year group, you've always had a wonderful ability to get the important thing done and then have fun with the time left over. And that fun was usually self-made. You've taken the City as our campus to new heights, whether it was ensuring that everyone met the grooming requirements with your pop-up haircuts, running your science experiments, burning Doritos, or building a budget roller coaster. I think you can all look back and say that you've truly made the most of high school. If it's not a theme that's come through clearly enough yet, you're a class that makes its own fun. You've each found your own individual interests and plans for the future, and it's been such a joy to watch you discover what excites and motivates you. During your time at St George's, I've also seen the care and kindness you've shown to younger students. It wasn't just your guild that did this, it was every single one of you. You're a group that feels deeply for others, and that's been evident in the way you've looked out for each other throughout your time here, shown respect to older students when you had them, and cared so genuinely for those that were younger than you. I'm proud of all your hard work, your academic comebacks, sporting successes, and performance achievements. But most of all, I'm proud of each of you, of the genuine, kind, and thoughtful people you are and have been throughout your time in high school. Part of farewelling a class is normally offering some advice to take with them. I don't know if I have much more to offer than my fantastic advice on making friends, but you've already heard this many times, including today. Instead, I thought I might share with you what I think is the most important thing in life. You'll all find different passions now and at different times in your lives. You'll work different jobs and have different goals or aspirations in different seasons. But what I think is the purpose of life, for want of a less intense expression, is to make others feel seen and valued, to genuinely use your time and energy to encourage those around you, to listen to them and to walk alongside them. And this is what I see day in and day out from you. It's what I saw in you even back in middle school. You've grown up alongside each other and shaped each other. You are a year group I've consistently seen be kind to one another, to other students, to staff and to the wider community. We have all been so lucky to have you in our school. Teaching is the best job and you should really all consider it. We have the privilege of watching you grow and the honour of journeying alongside you through your school. When we say goodbye, our greatest wish is that by the end of those 6 years, you leave believing that you are capable, prepared, and ready to take on whatever comes next. You move on, but we see the legacy you leave behind. And I know you'll go out into the world and continue to make us proud, but I also know that for years to come, I'll find myself commenting on aspects of our welcoming culture, our house spirit, our positive student-staff relationships, and our interconnected year groups, and I'll mention to someone who might not even know you that the class of 2025 had an immense impact on that culture. There have been very few individual names mentioned in this speech, and that's because I mean these words for all of you. I am so lucky to truly know each and every one of you, and I'm very proud of everything you've achieved while at St George's. I cannot wait to hear all that you accomplished beyond school. Thank you again for the opportunity to farewell you, class of 2025. Congratulations on graduating.
Thank you, Ms Hewitt. Another part of tradition of this final assembly is the Year 12 video. This one I think is probably more of a photo montage. I'd also like to thank Mr Alex Hansen, who put a huge amount of time into preparing this for you, so please sit back and enjoy.
Now to God, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of all things, who by his grace you were called to this school. Over the years, wisdom was imparted to you. You were brave, resilient, and determined to fight the good fight of student life. You have completed your high school here. Go forth now into the world and translate your knowledge into action through the stewardship of God's creation and in service of fellow humanity, and make this world a better place. And may the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with you and remain with you always. Amen.
As we draw to the final goodbye from the class of 2025, I invite the Year 11 students to please prepare the traditional Guard of Honour to pay our respects to the Year 12s as they leave the school assembly for the last time.
I ask the rest of the school to please be upstanding as together we farewell the class of 2025.
Can you please take a seat? Thank you for your enthusiasm and your enjoyment of that. I think the Year 12s will remember that for a long time. We're going to be dismissed by year groups. Can I ask you to ensure that the cathedral is left neat and tidy as there is service following us straight after this? Yeah? So, Year 11s, can you go out through the centre aisle, please? You're dismissed. Year 10s, can you use the side exits, please, at the back of the church?